Welcome everyone to this Hatha yoga practice. Today exploring how to bring more stability and ease into the hips. So you won't really need too much equipment, just a block or a cushion to sit on will be enough, and we can begin. So making your way onto your mat. And we're going to start lying down onto our backs with our legs bent, feet about hip distance apart. And this is where, if you have a cushion or something similar that you'd like to use, you can pop that underneath your head, just so that your chin is coming comfortably in towards your chest. Let your arms rest out by the sides, palms facing up. And this is where we'll begin. So use this as an opportunity to fully arrive for your yoga practice. Take a few moments to notice how your body is feeling, the length of your spine, everything to the right side of the spine and everything to the left. You may notice one side is different to the other. That's perfectly normal. Start to become aware of your arms and your legs. The feeling of your feet on the mat. The feeling of the air against the palms of your hands. Begin to notice your breath. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, begin to make your breath a little bit fuller and deeper. You might take the breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. And then from here, gently bring one knee followed by the other knee in towards your chest. Place your hands on your knees with your fingers pointing down towards your toes. And then as you inhale, let both knees move forward, feel your arms straighten, your back lightly arches from the mat. And as you exhale, draw your knees towards you so your elbows bend and your back flattens to the mat. Inhaling, the knees come forward, the lower back, the pelvis arches. Exhale, the knees come towards you, the lower back, the pelvis flatten. So just enjoy moving in time with your breath here. This is a lovely way to just check in with how your lower back is feeling, how your hips are feeling. Nice, smooth, easy breath. This posture is called Apanasana, and the apana part of that is to do with this idea of a downward flowing energy. So sometimes we get a bit stuck in our heads, we disconnect from our body. So when we work with parts of the body like the lower back, the hips and the legs in particular, we're working with this apana flow of energy. bringing us back down into our bodies. And of course, this includes our digestive system and our organs. And so it's also sometimes known as wind relieving pose. If you're feeling the benefits of the posture, that's marvelous. And we'll just take one more round. And then from here, you're going to step your left foot down onto the floor and bring that right knee closer towards you. So it starts to move to the armpit side of the body so that you can now hold onto your thigh, your calf muscle, or perhaps the edge of your foot, inner or outer edge of your foot. So it's similar to happy baby pose, but it's just on the right leg. So your left leg can stay bent with the knee pointing up, or you can let your left knee drop wide. And you're looking to get a sense of length coming through the inside of this right thigh. So your knee wants to start going wider away from your body. We're going to take a few breaths here. And you can start to explore very small movement, bearing in mind we're just at the start of the practice and you might be tired, cold and stiff. But you can start to just lift one leg and then the other. Sorry, that didn't make sense. You can begin to bend and straighten this leg a little bit. So you'll start to feel that in your hamstrings. So don't be aggressive, be curious. Just see how this side is feeling. And if you're rocking from side to side, that's fine. You can move a little bit with your pelvis and just see how that affects the quality of your movement. And so when you feel that you're about finished on this right side, draw your knee in towards your chest and then plant the foot onto the floor. Take a moment here. Already you might feel some difference on the right side of your pelvis compared to the left. And so of course we'll take the left side. So drawing that knee in, take the knee wide and then turn the sole of your foot to face the ceiling. Take your thigh, your calf, or reach for your foot. Keep your right knee pointing to the ceiling or let it go wide and take a few breaths here. See if you can really breathe down into your belly. And then you can stay quite still or you can just start to explore bending and straightening this leg. So we're not trying to do an exact posture here, we're just warming up the body, feeling into the body. This side might feel different. So if you spend a lot of time sitting, or if you cycle or run or swim, anything where the muscles are strong but they can also get tight, then this can feel quite challenging. So again, don't be aggressive, just be curious, be playful. You can't really get it wrong because you're just feeling and going gently. So if you find even that you are dropping all the way to the left, that's fine. If it feels good, then do it. And so when you feel that you've finished with that movement, very gently bring the knee to the chest, step the foot to the floor. Bring both arms out in line with your shoulders, have your palms facing up, take your feet to the edges of the mat more or less. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, let your knees drop to the left and your gaze to the right. On your inhale, come back to center, drawing your navel to your spine. Exhale, knees to the right and gaze to the left. So we're just going to continue this movement, moving with the breath. It's kind of like a windscreen wiper effect with your legs. So make the movement quite smooth. Try to avoid any jerkiness. We'll take a few more rounds. This is a lovely way to massage your spine all the way down to the back of your pelvis. And we'll take one more round to each side. Until you find yourself all the way back to center. And once again, bring your knees into your chest, both knees. And now full happy baby. So take your knees wide. The soles of the feet face the ceiling. So explore which hand position you want to take. It's not always necessarily needed that you take your feet. So you can hold your legs and deepen that stretch between the knees. You can hold your feet and lift your tailbone off the floor. You can rock a little bit from side to side. As you rock, you might straighten one leg. So if you rock to the left, straightening that right leg, and then rocking to the right and straightening the left leg. You can also explore, if you're in a more central position, lifting your head and shoulders off the floor and engaging the abdominal muscles. Bringing the head and shoulders back down. And then bringing both of your knees in towards your chest. And as you exhale, bringing your feet all the way down to the floor. Rolling to your side. And coming all the way up, making your way onto your hands and knees. Feel free to put some padding under your knees if your knees are feeling a little bit sensitive today. And we're coming to a threading the needle action. So I think I'll face this way for a moment. So with your right arm, inhale and reach the fingertips to the ceiling, looking up if you can. And as you exhale, thread your arm under the left arm, but we're not going to stay here. So as you inhale, come back. We're going to repeat that movement a few times. Exhale, threading your right arm under your left. So feel how your upper back is rotating with the movement. So the movement is coming primarily from the upper back and the waist. Try and keep your hips fairly level. Inhaling the fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, thread the arm under the left. One more. And then as you inhale, reach your right fingertips to the ceiling. One last time. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the floor. Right hand to the floor, apologies. Inhale, take your left hand up. Exhale, threading the needle. So if you can, see if you can keep your eyes on your fingertips as you flow with your breath. So you don't have to get your ear to the floor in this variation because we're moving a little bit more dynamically, bringing a little bit of warmth, mobility to the body. But do make sure you are getting some turn rotation with your chest and your upper back. This area can get really tight, particularly if you've been at your computer today or perhaps driving. And we'll take one more round. And then use your inhale, bring your left fingertips up. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor, coming back into your all fours position. And then we'll take a few cat-cow movements here. So use your inhalation, start with your tailbone and feel your spine arch as if a wave was washing through your body. And as you exhale, start with your tailbone, curl the tailbone under, reach up through your upper back and let your head drop. So we'll take a few more of these. So really try to notice what's going on here. Feel your spine moving. arching and then rounding. And then coming back to a flat back position, sinking your bottom back to your heels, taking your right arm and threading it under your left. And now bringing your ear to the floor, your right ear. So if you need a cushion underneath your right ear, feel free to find one. We'll take a few breaths here. Your left hand can stay on the floor in front of you, or you can wrap it behind your back. And then carefully bring that left hand down to the floor. Use that left arm as you push yourself back up, both hands on the floor in front of you for a moment. And then taking it to the other side, feeding your left arm under your right, bringing your ear all the way to the floor this time. Keeping your right hand where it is or wrapping it behind the body. And as you exhale, see if you can really imagine the side of your neck softening and releasing to the floor. And then carefully bring that right hand to the floor. Use your inhale, come all the way up. Exhaling here. And then making your way on up and back into downward facing dog. So in your first downward dog of the day, always take a few moments just to stretch out your legs, bending one knee then the other. So do what feels good here. Walking the dog. Keeping the arms nice and active. Shoulder blades pulling away from the ears. And then from here, come back down onto your hands and knees. Step your right foot forward as we come into a lunge. So take a fairly big step forward and then bring your hands onto your thighs so you lift yourself into this lunge. Your left foot can be flat on the floor or the toes can be curled under. Just see what feels most comfortable. Find your breath. If you're feeling tired today, keep your hands on your legs. Otherwise, inhale, bring your arms up, look straight ahead. Feel as though that your arms start at your hips, so you're really lengthening through your waist, through your rib cage, through your armpits. And then one more inhalation. And as you exhale, bring the hand all the way down in front of you, bringing that left hand to the inside of the mat. And as you inhale, reach your right arm up. So we come back to another twist. So really getting the upper back open here. Gaze up to the thumb if you can. Take a few breaths. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your hand down to the floor. Tuck your toes under your back foot, lift up the knee and take a big step back into a downward facing dog. Make sure you bend your knees if your lower back is sore, if your hamstrings are tight or if you're new to yoga. It's more important that we work with getting a straight spine and straight legs. And then come down onto your hands and knees, step your left foot forward. And then bring your hands up onto your left thigh as you come up into the lunge, either keeping the hands here, keeping the breastbone lifting, or extending up through your arms to the ceiling. So as you look ahead, keep your eyes nice and soft. Really have that feeling of lifting up through your pelvis. Soft breath, soft eyes. And then one more breath in. And as you breathe out, bring your hands all the way down to the floor in front of you. Bring a little bit more weight onto your right hand. And as you inhale, lift your left arm up. Look to the ceiling, breathe here. So feel this twist coming from your upper back. We've already done a little bit of work into this space. Still sinking forward into that lunge, beginning to stretch around the hips. And on your next exhale, bring your hands all the way down to the floor, tuck your toes under, and again come back into your downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is a really good way to build strength through the whole of your body. And you're stretching really from the crown of the head to the back of your pelvis, and then from the back of your pelvis down to your heels. So slowly start to walk your feet forward now towards your hands, coming into a standing forward fold. Make sure your knees are bent so that you give the back and the spine the chance to fully release. And then press down firmly with your feet, let your arms hang in front of you, and very slowly come all the way up. Keep pressing the feet down. Let your head be the last to lift. And then finding your way into your mountain pose. So feet hip distance apart, hands down by the side. Find your breath. And then begin to explore the four corners of your feet. So you've got two corners on the inner and outer heels of your feet, and then two corners on the inner and outer balls of your feet. And explore how it is to be standing evenly across these four corners. So mountain pose, it's as though your roots are pulling you down towards the ground, so strong, so steady and movable. But at the same time, you're reaching, you're pointing up towards the sky. Two more breaths. Standing with awareness. Alert yet relaxed. And if your eyes have been closed, you can let them softly open now. Turn to face the long edge of your mat and step your feet wide apart, about a metre and a half. And then turning the toes of your right foot to face the narrow edge of the mat, coming to Trikonasana triangle pose. So as you inhale, let your arms float up in line with your shoulders, and exhale, just soften the shoulders down. Press firmly into the little toe side of this back foot, and as you inhale, begin to reach towards the right. So you're getting lots of length through your waist. And as you exhale, let your right hand come down and your left arm come up. Look towards your thumb if it's comfortable. Keep both shoulders away from the ears. Stay steady in that back leg, really firm up that left leg. So don't think about how low your hand is getting, but think about turning and opening this left hip. So your belly button starts to face forward more, your chest is facing forward. Drop your gaze to the floor. Use your inhale, pull yourself up. As you exhale, keep your arms lifted, but turn your feet the other way. And then inhale, reach all the way to the left, As you exhale, left hand down, right arm up. So watch out for this type of action where you're collapsing and turning yourself to the floor. This is about opening up the front body. So we're opening up through the hip, opening up through the rib cage, maybe looking up. Always make sure your neck is comfortable. So if you prefer to look forward or down, then you can. Enjoy your breath here. And then looking down, if you're not already, use your inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, relax the arms, turn the feet to face forward, and then walk your feet all the way towards one another. And turn to face the front of your mat. With your feet hip distance apart, step your left foot back, a smaller step this time. Make sure that you're not walking a tightrope, so use the width of your mat. And then bring both of your hands onto your hips and squeeze the elbows behind the back. Use your next inhale, reach your left fingertips to the ceiling, really stretch like you were trying to touch the ceiling. And as you exhale, start to fold forward. So keep your belly button lifting. Fold forward, draw your right hip back. So that your belly button is moving in the direction of the thigh. And then bring that left hand down to your leg, to your shin or your thigh. Take a few breaths here. So notice how this is being here. We're in a forward fold. To go one step further, use your exhale to turn and open your chest towards the right. And the final step is to bring your arm up, maybe looking up to the ceiling. So we've brought a twist into it now, so it gets a little bit more complex. See if you can keep rooting down with your back foot. Breathe. And then carefully bring your hand back down to your hip, turn to face the floor, put a soft bend in your front leg, and inhale, reach your left fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, bring your left hand down in front of you, step your left foot forward, right foot back. So we'll take it on to the other side now. Use your inhale, reach your right arm up to get as much length as you can through your waist. And then as you exhale, folding forward, so try and keep your arm in line with your ear, don't let it brush ahead of you. And as you fold forward, draw your left hip back so that your belly naturally starts to turn. And then come forward as far as you can before bringing your hand down towards your leg. Take a few breaths here, find your balance. So this back leg wants to be really firm. So you're pressing your right thigh, the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. To come into the twist, take an inhale, and then exhale, turn your chest to the left. Open up with this left collarbone, so draw your elbow back, and then the option to bring the arm up. Make sure you're not throwing the arm behind you. Your wrist is above your shoulder, perhaps look up. Breathe. Nice soft face, soft eyes, soft jaw. And then as you exhale, come out the way you came in. Hand comes to the hip, face the floor, and inhale, bring your right arm all the way up as you come to standing. Exhale, let the arm come down, come forward, facing the long edge of your mat. We'll come back to mountain pose. So just see if you feel any different in this mountain pose. Working with the standing postures in yoga is a really good way to ground the energy. And then from here, hands come back to the hips as we step the feet wide apart. Toes facing the long edge of the mat. Now if you can, interlink your hands behind your back. If this is uncomfortable for you, just keep your hands on the hips. And then start to open through your collarbone so that your breastbone starts to lift and your chest is open. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, fold forward. So if you've got a lower back problem, bend your knees. Otherwise, legs are straight. See how much length you can keep in your torsos. If you were trying to hop your belly over an imaginary bar. So you're staying long, long, long through the front body. And your hands might not move very far away from your back. Do not be too aggressive. Do not force your shoulders. Find a place that you can comfortably hold and that you can still breathe. Let your gaze be focused on something that isn't moving. And then to come out of this posture, put a soft bend in the knees, press your feet firmly down, and inhale, come all the way up. Head is the last to lift. Exhale, relax your arms, and then walk the feet in towards one another until once again they are hip distance apart. Bring a little bit more weight into your right leg and start to lift your left leg off the floor. So we're coming to take a balance. So if you're wobbly today, just come and find a wall or the back of a chair, something fairly steady, and bring your right arm against that wall. So we're bringing a little bit more weight into that right leg and then bringing that left leg up and taking the foot just above the knee. So it's like a figure of 4. See, I'm going to fall over today. And then we start to bend that standing leg. So focus your gaze on something that isn't moving. Lift your belly button in and up. If you are not against the wall, you can bring your hands in front of your heart. So sinking your bottom to the floor. Keep the breastbone lifting. And then use your inhale to come up. Exhale, release the leg. We'll take it onto the other side. So you can always start with your hands on your hips. Bring the weight into your left leg. Bring your right foot above the left knee. And we'll take it onto the other side. So feel free to bring your hands to your heart at any time. Keep them on the hips if you're wobbly. So as you come down, you're not folding forward, but you're sinking your bottom back as if you were sitting into a strange chair. And then you're inviting this right knee to drop towards the floor. So breathe here. Keeping that little lift of your belly button, so your belly button goes in and up, Uddiyana Bandha, just to help engage your core muscles, improve that sense of balance. And then use your inhale, come up. Exhale, release the leg, release the arms. Well done. Turning to face the long edge of your mat once again. Feet fairly wide, but not as wide as last time. And now we'll turn the toes out and the heels in, hands to the heart. As you inhale, bring your arms up to the ceiling, gaze up as your palms meet. Exhale, bend your knees and sink your hips down, sometimes called goddess pose. So we'll do that again. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees. Keep your knees tracking over your toes, so you should be able to see at least your big toe when you come down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now keep the legs where they are, and as you inhale, take your arms wide, and as you exhale, fold from your hips, and imagine that you're just gathering up anything that you no longer need. Use your next inhale, lift it all up towards you, and then exhale, throw it behind you. Let's do that again. So start with straight legs. Inhale, bring your arms up, hands overhead. Exhale, bend the knees. Hands to heart. Inhale, so you're just gathering up any stress or tension, baggage that you no longer need. Exhale, moving down to the floor, picking it all up in your arms. Inhale, lift your spine up, stay nice and steady with your legs, and then strong exhale, throw it all behind you. Bring your hands down in front of you, straighten your legs. One more of those. Inhaling, Hands come up over the head, exhaling, sinking down. Take your arms wide as you inhale, fold forward from your hips, come all the way down to the floor. Gathering everything as you need as you inhale, lifting up from the hips, straight spine. When you're ready, exhale, throwing it all behind you, bringing your hands to your hearts, walking your feet in towards you. Well done. Hope you feel a bit lighter after that. We're going to face again the narrow edge of the mat, keeping the feet wide, so about as wide as your mat, with your toes turned outward. Explore coming into a yogic squat. So these aren't always easy for everyone, so I want you to work just within your capabilities for today. The hands are going to come at the heart. This is a useful reminder to keep lifting the breastbone. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, start to bend your knees and sink your bottom back. So this might be about as far as you're coming. You may find you can go further if you lift your heels off the floor, and you may find you can come all the way down. So just have an explore, find a place that you can come to. If you can come all the way to the floor, use your elbows to press your knees away from you, and then squeeze your knees into your elbows. So you kind of have a little struggle going on, a little battle between your elbows and your knees. So you can do this even if you're higher up. Your elbows and your knees aren't against one another, but you can press your forearms, the palms of your hands together, take your knees wider. And then we're going to make our way to the floor. So if you're low down, you can just easily come and sit. If you're in this position, then bring your feet down, turn your toes forward, roll all the way down, and then come down onto your hands and knees, and come all the way to sit. So this is where a block or something similar to this will be helpful. Something for you to sit up on so that you're comfortable. Bring both legs out in front of you, and then bend up that right leg and bring the heel close towards you. Step your foot over your left leg and either stay here, or the next stage is to bring your foot to your right hip. So if you're struggling with this, try more height underneath you. It really does make a huge difference. Or stick with the first version. So we're coming into the hips here. So from this position, use your inhale, reach your left arm up to the ceiling, come back to this length that we've been working with. Exhale, start to turn your torso to the right. Let your elbow come to your knee. If this isn't accessible, bring your hand to your knee. Your right fingertips are on the floor beside you. So use your next inhale to find that length through your spine. And as you exhale, turn your chest just a little bit more. Breathing in to lengthen. Exhale to deepen the twist if you want to. You will, of course, reach a point where you feel that you've gone deep enough, where you're feeling a really good stretch coming around your rib cage, your diaphragm muscle area. Some of you may be feeling around the hips as well, a little bit of work. Slow down your breath. Eyes are lightly cast down. And then we'll have one more inhalation. And as you exhale, coming out of the twist, turning to face forward. If you're in this leg position, try sliding your right knee on top. If you are in this leg position, then come and sit cross-legged with your right leg in front. So both are working with the hips, it's just that this version is a little bit more challenging. So from this leg position, we're going to bring the arms out in front of us, palms facing down, and then turn your palms slowly so that you feel that the movement is coming from your shoulders, turning the palms to face up. And now bring your right elbow under your left and wrap the arms around one another. If this isn't accessible for you, you can have the backs of the hands against one another, or you can squeeze the forearms together instead. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Try to make sure your hands are not collapsing onto your face, but rather the fingers are pointing to the ceiling. Feel that sense of rooting down through your tailbone, really rooting down onto whatever you're sitting on. And then take one more breath in. And as you breathe out carefully, release your hands all the way down. Inhale, let's take the arms up in the air. Exhale, squeeze them all the way down. And now release the legs, stretch them out in front of you. And then bending up that left leg, bring the heel close towards the buttock. Step one is stepping your left foot over the right. You can stay here. Step two is drawing that right heel towards the outside of your left hip. Inhale, reach up with that right arm, reach all the way to the ceiling, hip, armpit, fingers. Exhale, turn your belly, your ribs and your chest. Take your elbow to your knee or your hands and let your left fingertips come on the floor behind you. You're not putting your hand there so you can lean on it, but it can offer a little bit of reminder that you're lifting from your lower back. So as you inhale, press the left fingertips into the floor. Feel that length coming through your spine. And as you exhale, explore turning your chest a little bit more. Make sure you don't just turn your head. There's nothing wrong with turning your head towards your shoulder, but sometimes it's like a little trick of our mind, and it makes us think we're turning more deeply than we are. So you could always try bringing your chin in line with your breastbone. And then when you exhale and go more deeply, turn your chest and only let your chin move as far as your breastbone is moved. So it's likely to be quite a small movement. So when you get to a point where you feel that you're getting a really nice deep stretch across the upper back, just hold it here, take a few breaths, soften your eyes, make sure your eyes are slightly down. And then take a full inhalation. And as you exhale, coming out of the twist, facing forward, and then sliding left knee on top of the right, or sitting cross-legged with your left leg in front. Bring both arms out in front of you, palms facing down, and then turn the palms to face up. Feel the movement, the rotation of your shoulders as you take your left arm under your right and you wrap the arms around one another. Of course, both sides can be very different, so just see how this feels. Come back to your breath here, so lots of length through the spine, through the crown of the head. Breathing deeply into the shoulder blade area, getting a nice deep stretch for the upper back. And then inhaling fully. Exhaling, releasing the arms all the way down. And then inhale, really light with your arms, float them up. Exhale, let them sink back down. Release the legs out in front of you, both legs are straight. Stay sitting up on your heights. Fingertips on the floor beside you. As you inhale, lift up tall. Press the heels to the floor as you exhale. Inhaling, press the fingertips to the mat, lift up through your sideways. Exhale, press your buttocks and the backs of the heels to the floor. So it should feel like quite hard work for your legs, even though you're sitting down. Once again, inhale, find some length. Exhale, press the backs of the legs to the floor, particularly your buttocks and your heels. And then inhale fully once again. And as you exhale, start to come forward. So if your back is sore, bend your knees. That's really crucial for lower back pain. Otherwise, we start to come forward, moving from the hips. Feel free to put your hands here to give you some guidance. Feet can be together or hip distance apart. So moving from the hips, Bringing the arms out in front of you if you want, but try not to get into kind of a grasping mentality. It doesn't matter where your hands are. You can have your hands on your legs or your feet, or if you happen to have a strap, you can use it. But our emphasis is not so much on reaching the feet. It's actually just feeling the connection between the spine and the backs of the legs. So if either are tight, this movement becomes quite difficult. So you're looking to find a balance between effort and ease in the posture, not being too aggressive, not pushing too hard, but just working hard enough so that you are feeling some change occurring in the body. And change is happening. It might be happening slowly and not to the pace that you desire. But with regular practice, the body really does become more flexible, more open, stronger, but also softer, calmer, more relaxed. Let's enjoy a few more breaths. And then use your inhale, lightly lift up. Bring the soles of your feet together, take your knees wide apart. Have your heels a comfortable distance away from you, so you can draw them in closer if that's suitable for you. If your knees are higher off the floor, that's absolutely fine. But it does mean that when we come forward, when the knees are high, you can't come as far forward as you can when the knees are low. So just bear that in mind. And remember, don't be aggressive to yourself. This is such a good way to start to open up through your hips. And again, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So start by taking a breath in, come back to length through the spine. And as you breathe out, we're going to come forward again, just nice and slowly. So your hands can be on your feet, on your legs, on the floor. So we'll just slow it down here, and you can keep your spine straight. If you want to drop your head and round your spine, you can also do this. So just take your time, enjoy the posture. Even if you feel that you haven't come forward very far, it doesn't matter. It's about the feeling. It's not about how it looks. And maybe you're at home practicing on your own, and so you can't compare yourself to anyone else. It's so easy to do in the studio. And it can really help you just to be more aware of your own body, more appreciative of your own body and what your body can do for you, rather than focusing on what your body can't do for you, or at least can't do yet. So we'll take a couple more breaths. And then use your inhale. Walk your hands all the way up towards you. Bring your hands under your knees. Lift your knees up. Sometimes you need to do that slowly. Straighten your legs out in front of you. And now take your legs wide apart. So at the least wider than your mat, wider still if you can. Stay sitting up on your height. Bring your fingertips onto the floor inside of the legs. As you inhale, have a sense of growing tall. And as you exhale, move from your hips and begin to come forward. So again, this is another posture where it might not be so easy to come very far forward. Give your body time, give the muscles time, the tissue time to become more elastic. Slow down your breath. Soften your eyes. Bring a sense of softness to your tongue, as if your tongue were very heavy and just hanging out in the lower palate of the mouth. A few more breaths here. And then nice and slowly, use your inhale, come all the way up, sitting tall. Slide your legs towards one another. Come off any height that you're sitting on and make your way down onto your back. From here, bring your arms out in line with your shoulders once again. Walk your feet close towards your bottom and then walk your right foot next to your left and then let your knees drop all the way to that left hand side. So we're taking a twist. So as you let your knees drop, you can bring them closer towards you if you like. This will deepen the twist a little bit, particularly around your lower spine. Or slide the knees slightly further away from you. Just taking a few moments here. And then use your inhale, come to roll onto your back once again. We'll take it to the other side, so walking your left foot towards your right, and then letting both knees drop all the way to that right side, drawing them higher or lower as needed. You're welcome to put your right hand on top of your legs if that gives you kind of better benefit to the posture. Some people find it weighs them down more, which feels good. So just enjoy being here, not very much effort. Just releasing the spine really. We've done quite a few forward bends. So just bringing a little bit of movement, twisting to the spine before we come to our next posture. So coming out of the twist, use your inhale, come and roll onto your back. So if you're a bit tired, you can use your block or your cushion and just place that underneath the back of your pelvis so that you come into a more restorative bridge pose. So this is good if you're getting a bit tired and you want to just bring a little bit more energy into your body in a more relaxed way, then you can come and take this posture now. For those of you wanting to work in a more muscular way with bridge pose, we're going to walk the feet a little bit closer to the buttocks, slide the shoulder blades under the back, and then inhale, press down with the feet and start to lift the hips. So make sure that you are pressing down with your feet, so you have really strong legs here. Feel as though your knees are moving forward away from your chest, so you're getting more length across the front body. And if you want to, tuck your shoulders in a bit more, and you might be able to interlink your hands. This hand position is not for everyone, so don't force your shoulders. Breathe into the front of your body, making the most of all this space and length. Two more breaths. One more breath. And then gently lower all the way down. Release the grip of the hands. Take a moment here just to rest onto your back. So if you're feeling any twinging in your lower back, if you're really desperate to hug your knees in towards your chest, you may have not been using your legs as much as you need to. So just remember that for next time. That posture requires flexibility of the spine, but also strong legs. And so now we will bring the knees in towards the chest and take a little rock and roll. So if you were in the restorative posture, you can also start to make your way down now and join us as we massage out our backs onto the floor. So drawing circles on the mat, rocking from side to side. Knees can be together or wide, whatever feels good. Just be quite playful and quite free. Generally in Hatha yoga, we are focused on technique and alignment, and there's lots of really good reasons for this, such as preventing injury and helping the alignment of the body and also the energetic body. But it's also so good for us just to find some joy, some freedom, imagination in the practice. So you're welcome to even rock all the way to one side and all the way to the other. Anything that feels good. You might find if you start doing this, you never want to stop. So do it for as long as you like. And then come back to center. Bring the feet to the floor. And prepare for your Shavasana. So take any extra layers that you might like. Any cushions and blankets and eye pillows. And then let your body sink down towards the floor so that you give up the effort of the physical body in Shavasana. And you take a moment just to be aware of your body. Any feeling of tingling, of warmth, of vibration. Things that indicate that the prana, the life force, is moving through your body. Bringing you more energy, more vitality. Bringing you closer in alignment with yourself. And then let go of any effort of thought, of breath, of physical movement. And feel your body resting now onto the earth. So beginning to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Maybe start at your fingers and toes and move up through your ankles, your wrists, maybe even beginning to stretch through your arms and your legs. So take your time, stay resting for longer if you require. And then come and lie onto your side nice and slowly. Take a few moments here just to rest on the sides. And then use your arms, push yourself all the way up to sitting. Sit comfortably. If you always sit with the same leg in front, then just try mixing it up. Let your hands come to your heart. Take a full breath in. Sigh the breath out. And we will end our practice there. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope that you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and at ease now. Do come back to it time and time again. The body is always changing, so the practice always changes. You might like to explore one of the pranayama or meditation videos now. They can often work really well after asana practice when we've settled the energy, settled the body a little bit. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and your evening, and I hope to see you again.